All right. So we have Hong, Peter, Alan, Will, Juhi, and Sally. Welcome. All right, we'll start the meeting. Well, Juhi, welcome. Do you have any update, or are you just gonna listen today?
I don't I'm still working on the journal that you gave me. Um, so no big updates. The journal, the scientific reports got back to me and they said apparently they never got a transfer of our
Oh,
manuscript.
huh.
So I replied like giving them our number and everything, but they said they will look into it, but I think that's highly unlikely, so I think we just have to resubmit.
Resubmit. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you did click you want to
I
automatic
did.
transfer, right?
Uh-huh. And then when I was worried because like I was worried it didn't go through and I went back to communication medicine to recheck. They even gave me a date of transfer, but like
Huh.
I don't know what happened.
Huh. So
So
these things happen. Wow. I'm surprised.
yeah, and I was like waiting.
Wow. Wow.
Um, but yeah, so I think we're just gonna have to resubmit. Their requirements were not very different from the communication medicine. So I think I just need to decide on a date and just like get to it. And it's just gonna take a couple. But yeah,
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, keep me updated. Uh,
okay, thank you.
okay. And Sally just joined. Welcome.
Hi.
Um, maybe we can introduce ourselves because I know not all of us know each other. So maybe Sally, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi. Good morning. My name is Saili Lee. I'm a Korean medicine doctor preparing for 22,000 internal medicine matching in the USA. Now I'm staying in California, and I'm really honored um, to be here in Che Dr. Che Lab, and thank you for this opportunity. I want to learn a lot of research here, and I'll be there in Chicago, maybe hopefully next month. So and to meet you, meet all of you there. Yeah,
Very
thank
good.
you.
Very good. So you get to know what kind of projects we're doing here. So
Okay.
welcome. Well, how about we just go around briefly, just introducing each other. Maybe Hesong?
Hi, Dr. My name is Hezong. I'm also applying for IM residency this year. I really enjoy research here, really passionate about oncology, and just really grateful to be here. And I hope you enjoy your time here as well.
Great. Peter?
Hi, good morning. I'm a third year biochemistry student at UT Austin. I had the privilege of staying at Dr. Che's lab from May to July this year. And yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Alan?
Hi, I'm also a Korean medical graduate, and I'll also be. My name is Alan Cho, and I'm also a Korean medical graduate. I'll be also applying for internal medicine, and it's always nice to see new faces in Lab. So I think you'll have a great time here.
Nice to see you.
Will?
Hi, Dr. Shelley. This is William. I'm a senior who's going to UIUC, but I took a gap year to work under Dr. Che's lab. So you get to see me more often, and I'm looking forward to see you soon.
Great. Juhi?
So I'm in my pajamas, but I'll turn on the video because I think it's not nice to like introduce yourself without a screen. Excuse my pajamas. So I am Juhi. Juhi Park. I'm a Korean graduate, medical school graduate as well. I'm gonna be applying to internal medicine this year too.
Oh,
I've been working with Dr. Che since last year in Chicago. Yeah. So I'm in Korea though. So like everything's
okay.
online. Yeah. So yes, hello. This is
Hi.
my pajamas. I'm sorry about that.
No worries. Liam?
Hi, Dr. Lee. We've already met and spoken a couple of times, but good to see you finally officially in our lab, and we look forward to seeing you in person as well.
Nice to see you all, and thank you for welcoming me.
All right, so let's because well, Peter's here. How about we start with Peter first today? Do you have any update for us? Peter, do you know if Dr. Jian is joining or no?
Yes, I believe Dr. Cheon and Dr. Cheon told me that Dr. Yuri would also be joining today.
Right. Maybe we'll wait for them because they'll probably come. Yeah, let's wait for them and then talk about it all together.
Okay.
In the meantime, maybe Haesung, you can start.
Okay. All right. As always, I'll start with DART. So yeah, I'm really excited to show you the final version of the thyroid manuscript. The figure 3 has been updated. I'll just quickly show you what's been updated, and then, since we already started, why is there an echo? Maybe I'll close the door 1 second.
Oh, it's echoing.
Yeah. So let's. Yeah. So I updated the patient IDs, and then everything else is bolded, and then like just minor changes. But anyways, yeah, it's been finalized. But it's already in circulation, and the team members are supposed to reply back by September 3rd. And so I think we'll just wait until they do, and then I'll make sure I update everything, reflect all the feedback, and then submit this around the first week of September.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Oh, but the thing is, they're having issues with the primary endpoints, whether or not they should include the unconfirmed or confirmed. Megan mentioned that for thyroid and also for the clear cell. She's gonna work on updating all the data and the tables figures for clear cell, but for thyroid, there was one unconfirmed PR, and Megan says we should not include this in the OOR, but just mention it as a side note that there was an unconfirmed PR.
Oh, you mean in the abstract?
In the abstract and also in the just manuscript, like in general, like when we talk about the overall OOR, this one is including the unconfirmed, but Megan is saying that we should not include this. So it should be 4 out of 19.
I see. Oh, okay. So for those of you who do not know what that means, so there's a response from systemic therapy, which is like the 30% decrease in tumor size. But it confirmed means it's confirmed by a subsequent CT scan. But let's say a person dies from saddle PE, something happens, or you get the next scan, it's progression again. Let's say it was 31% decrease. The next time you measure it's 29%. Then it's not PR anymore. It's not response anymore. So that it becomes unconfirmed. So I think in the DART protocol, we said we're gonna define response as confirmed, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Confirmed CRPR.
So I think we have to be consistent in all our papers. So let's just follow Megan's suggestion. Let's just do when we say objective response rate, let's just do confirmed. However, I also wanna mention so ORR, let's say for example here is 26%, but
That includes one unconfirmed PR. So without it, it's 4 out of 19.
right, yeah, right. So we say ORR is 4 out of 19. And then maybe to think about it, well, I just want a brief mention of, there is one unconfirmed response. And I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to put it here.
Right, we can always add like with one unconfirmed PR, but CBR would just be like confirmed CRPR and then SD. So
Right,
it shouldn't be in there as well.
right.
So did you want to mention the unconfirmed in the conclusion, or is just the sentence and results section enough?
I actually want both.
Okay.
Because here you said overall response was 19 out of 19 patients. You put here on one unconfirmed PR inside in the results section. So how about ORR was, so something like ORR was this, and then in the parentheses, including one unconfirmed PR, comma, it increases. If you include it, it goes up to 21%. So it's like ORR is this, but if you add unconfirmed, then the ORR goes up to this because we have one unconfirmed. And same would be true for the clear cell. So unconfirmed would be in parentheses, something like that. So that
What
this,
about
yeah, I just want to mention it. And I know when we say ORR, it's not included, but if we including unconfirmed PR, then the number is this, something like that.
Okay. Do you think Megan will be okay with that?
Yeah, I think
Or is this PI's decision? Okay. What about CBR though?
CBR would not include unconfirmed, correct?
Right.
Yeah. But you don't have to mention the new CBR,
Okay.
just the objective response rate,
Okay.
when adding unconfirmed.
Right.
Because some articles do that. They just do that.
Okay.
And it just gives us a better idea, like, how powerful this regimen can be still.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. So let's do that for result, conclusion, abstract.
Okay.
And we'll be same for thyroid and clear cell as well. Let's just have that as our new rule.
The thyroid is already in circulation. So after we edit that, do we have to circulate it again,
No,
or do you think we can? Okay.
No, we don't have to circulate it again.
Okay, yeah. So as soon as we get that, I think we can submit on the first week of September. And then Clearasil, there's going to be some delay because Megan will have to update everything. So I think we can submit, I think we can go ahead with maybe bronchoalveolar carcinoma. It's cohort 12. We can maybe start getting review by Dr. Kurzrock. This one's
Yeah.
ready. I made
Let's
some
send it.
changes to the introduction.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to see this right now, or I can also print it out and show it to you later?
Yeah, just print it out and show it to me after the. And then yeah, we'll
It's
sub it together.
okay. Okay. 1 second.
So what else is in the queue? Bronchoalveolar.
Oh, in the queue, desmoid, and then small cell ovarian and vulvar.
Okay. All right, let's keep it going.
All right. Oh, for the last trial, I prepared the protocol. It actually took some time because, yeah. But anyways, I wanted to show it to you, kind of confirm a few things before I send
Sure.
it to Akiso for some confirmation and for them to fill out some
Yeah.
stuff.
So
let
they
me show you.
haven't sent us any further feedback on the number of the sample.
Yeah, so Lunit stats team was supposed to get back to us, but yeah, we're still waiting for the sample size calculations, and then both teams haven't gotten back to us regarding their feedback for like TM proposal. So I just
Yeah.
kind of went ahead, like I just kind of
Yes. For those of you who's new to this project, we're doing Nivo plus Ipi, which is PD-1, CTLA-4, combined targeting. So it's a strong immunotherapy given to pan cancer with high tumor infiltrating lymphocyte. So it's like having an engine. You need to give immunotherapy where there's already existing T cells inside the tissue. So can you share your screen? Or
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Anti-CTLA-4, anti-PD-1 therapy for TIL high pan tumors.
Yep.
I think this one is like the Lunit team, but I'll let them kind of fill that out. And then I think these are IND exempt. So I just did that today. Is 29th. Oh, for the table of
Oh,
contents.
wait. Did you run by our protocol writer? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. We can do it after our review today. Oh yeah,
Sure, but
biomedicine should be the same. Oh, did we get one assigned or not yet?
no,
So
because we were gonna ask the Lunit team for sample size calculation, and so I think this should be the Lunit team, right?
No, we should have our own. So do the same thing as we did for STQ. Remember, we got someone assigned. So because this is an institutional sponsored trial, we need our own.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. So will we be asking them for the sample size calculation?
Right. No, so it will be more like a review, like endorsement. Like whatever we came up with Lunit together, our statistician will be the one who's endorsing it. But our statistician will still like help us write, when we have the result from this trial, will help us write this.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and do that.
Wait. Dr. Jian is here. Dr. Jian? Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. I know you're
everyone.
in Korean time, so we wanna
Yeah.
you do yours first.
Okay, thank you. I have only 30 minutes. So, today,
wait.
doing,
Do you know if Dr. Yuri is coming today or
Yes, Yuri's coming at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Oh, 10 a.m.
oh,
10 a.m. is like 12 in Korea.
yeah.
That's too late, but we'll ask Yuri when he comes, but let's hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I'm doing revision for our third paper for double lung transplantation.
Yeah.
So most of the comments I could advance, but for this one it was a little bit tricky
Oh,
because they asked us to compare the overall survivor in cohort who had cancer versus non-cancer.
can you read that sentence?
So here,
You mean the one highlighted?
I'm sorry. Yeah, this one. Yeah, they says that it should be considered to be poor outcome when considering a limited resource such as organ. When allocations need to consider the principle of maximizing benefit of an organ, and they asked to compare the Can I show you another document?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's look at this. Okay, here, this was our supplementary figure. And as you can see, there was a significance between two cohorts. And of course, patients who had lung cancer showed a poor overall survivor compared to non-cancerous disease. They want to make this as a main figure,
Mhm.
and they asked us to comment that the overall survivor was worse in patients who had lung cancer.
Ah. Do you agree?
But then, well, my idea is, sorry, I wrote in Korean, but because the patients who had lung cancer, they already received a very heavy treatment before lung transplantation.
Mm,
The condition is totally different
mm,
already.
mm.
So if they had a better condition, and if they could be considered as a candidate a little bit earlier,
Mm.
then the overall survival could be improved.
Oh.
So that's my idea. I just wanted to ask you how
Mm.
to defend this question.
So when you say the more aggressive treatment, so you feel like because they've had exposure to many different chemotherapy,
Yes,
their
exactly.
general
Mhm.
health condition is worse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And fortunately, cancer-specific survivor was better than the overall survivor, which means the patient died because of other condition, not because of the cancer.
Mm. 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 I think you can write all that in the discussion,
Okay.
but let's go back to the author's, the reviewer's comment. Do they want to say it's just, they want us to say it out that it's poor? These are very low and should be considered to be poor outcomes when considering. Moreover, as appropriately outlined by the author, there is a risk of publication bias in the pooled case group. And thus, the OPTN group, which only has, so yeah, that graph was just 15 cases, right? Should be considered a more reliable cohort. Therefore, median overall survival of 15.9 months is of more concern. Although the recurrence-free survival rates were better than the pooled cases, the low overall survival in both groups indicates a high risk of mortality for patients with this cohort. So, for those of you who do not know this study, Dr. Jian and us, we did retrospective review of 20 cases of double lung transplant. And they were all from published case, so there's definitely a publication bias, but there's only a few cases done, nationally. They're all from US, Dr. Jian? Is all US?
No, international.
International, okay. 15 cases from UNOS. What
Mhm.
does OPTN stand for?
That is the same thing, the data set, name of the data set.
It's like a UNOS, just UNOS?
Yes, that is a UNOS one.
Okay, so you combined 20 and 15?
Oh, no, I couldn't because the policy from the UNOS or
Oh,
if
right.
you remember, we couldn't combine any data set. So we just showed them pooled cases versus opt-in cases.
I see. And then median survival of the pooled cases, which is 20 cases, was only 38 months. While
Yeah,
the
pooled cases was 38 months. It was quite long, but because they think the UNOS data is much reliable than the pooled cases because there could be a publication bias.
right.
So from the UNOS, the overall survival was only 15.9 months, which is just over 1 year.
Yeah, which is really poor. And
Yeah, that's
I
right.
agree.
Yeah.
So this might be against, but we don't know whether these 15 cases were included in the 20 case. Do we know?
Yes, that was another question from the reviewers. How
Right.
can you prove those were not duplicated? But
Right.
they could be. So
Right.
yeah,
We have no way of finding out,
yeah,
right?
we don't know.
I think it's all valid concern.
Yeah.
Oh, so here's my thought. I agree it's a worse outcome.
Mhm.
Can you go back to the graph?
Okay. It's over here. Yeah.
Yeah, here is so the UNOS data is the blue graph, right? And then 15 is the publication.
No, 15 came from
UNOS,
but the
UNOS,
patient who had lung cancer. Yeah.
who had lung cancer. Okay.
Mhm.
Hmm. Did we do similar ones with the 20 patients?
No, because we don't have any data for the patient who didn't have lung cancer. So we couldn't compare with the pooled cases. And because of the policy, we couldn't combine them.
Combine. But I'm just thinking out loud that what about, I know this is just the UNOS data, but
Mhm.
if we do add 20 patient survival curve here, shouldn't we able to visualize, compare? Yeah, it's
Okay,
a
let me
separate
show
graph.
you the,
Not,
yeah,
not pooling, but as a separate third graph. That's what I mean.
third graph. Then, yes, we have. Okay, let me show you. So this was the figure 1.
Yep.
And this was a figure 2. Cancer-specific survivor was better than the overall survivor. And the third one was post-transplant lung cancer. This is a way different one. And well, so we have this one. Okay, pooled cases showed a better survivor than the UNOS data. But
Mm,
because of the policy, I didn't make a combined graph. I
Right,
just
right.
showed this one. Yeah.
Oh, so OPTN data, just 15 patient. I see. What
Yeah.
I'm thinking, maybe this is the recurrence
Mhm.
number, and then this is the rate number, case series recurrence. Well, the case series has higher recurrence.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Recurrence
But
free
overall survival was longer
recurrence free survival was better.
in UNOS data.
Yeah. What about overall survival? Comparing these two, did you?
Okay.
This is overall survival,
Yes.
but this is just the OPTN.
No, C was pooled cases and
Pooled
D was
cases.
UNOS.
Okay, D was UNOS. I guess they're same scale, so you could kind of see that the pooled cases had better overall survival.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering if the pooled case overall survival is similar to the non-cancer OPTN registry. Hmm.
I'm not sure UNOS will allow that kind of graph if
Mm.
I combine.
Again, we're not combining it. We're just showing in a same graph.
Okay.
I don't think we're pulling anything. We have the pooled
Mhm.
data, overall survival, and then you have pooled non-cancer overall survival. So I don't know if that's what will help on this situation, but I think well, we gotta convince ourselves first. So I
Mhm.
think what you said is right, that cancer specific survival is better in OPTN lung cancer cases, but
Mhm.
then overall survival is worse. How about we write out that non-cancer group had and then the p-value was significant, right? If you go back to that initial graph you showed me.
Mhm. Mhm. This one.
Yeah. So we could say it's a fact that the non-cancer
Mhm.
group had superior overall survival compared to patient who had lung cancer um from the registry data. And then we just leave it that at the results section, and then in the discussion, we
Mhm.
talk about that this is probably because of the worse, in the patient's baseline, I guess what may be worse than the non-cancer due to prior chemotherapies and surgery, radiation for
Okay.
lung cancer. And then that's reflected in the group. Cancer specific survival was actually better than the overall survival.
Yes.
And it's
I agree.
probably, yeah, and then you just discussed that in the discussion. Yeah. I think that should be fine.
Yeah, I think the reviewer wants just the answer. They don't try to reject this one,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, they just asking, and if you can defend or answer, then I will give you the accept.
Oh,
That's my thought. Yeah.
okay. So answer it, but I think I think just writing it out in your, just revise some of it so that it's
Of
clear.
course. Yeah.
They will like it.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Okay, I will make it.
Question, like, do we know the median overall survival between
Median overall survivor is in table. Let me show you. The system. Yeah, median overall survivor. Here, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the overall survival for the OPTN data with non-cancerous disease?
We don't have it here.
Ah, okay.
It's obviously longer than
Right.
this.
Longer than 38?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. So I didn't want to show that. Yeah. And the cancer specific survivor was more than 2 years, even in state. So, well, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, in the case series, 4-year median. Hmm. 5-year overall is like 50 per. So I think isn't 5-year overall. So I think people like to look at 5-year overall survival
Mhm.
post transplant. Do you have a ballpark idea what that number would be for non-cancer OPTN? Is that in any of your file?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but if
You
maybe,
eyeball it on the graph.
oh yeah, eyeball in the graph. You can put a pen next to it. Let's go back to that overall survival graph for the whole OPTN.
Graph, okay.
Oh, it
This
doesn't
one?
go out. Oh wait. It's around like 60%.
Here, yeah, more
Yeah,
than 60, almost 70.
so it's slightly better. But may not be statistically different.
Mhm.
So I feel like, I mean, I know this is not the review what reviewer asked, but I think it should be fine with UNOS. Maybe I know this is supplemental figure 2, but
But we have to change it as a main figure, they asked. Because they think this is very important data. So they asked us to make it as a main figure.
I see, main figure.
And what would you like add?
So yes, so what's our main figure now? This is 1.
Yeah. This is all figure 1, A, B, C, D.
Okay.
So these are figure 1, and this is a figure 2.
Figure 2.
Yeah, and this is a supplementary. So we have only 2 main figures and 2 supplementary figures.
Oh, okay. So I think in the number 2, let's go to figure 2.
Figure 2, this one?
Yeah, because this is pulled in OPTN. And this is cancer specific survival, so it makes sense. Oh, so this is figure A, B, C, D.
Mm-hmm.
Go to number 3.
Number 3?
Yeah, the PowerPoint number 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So this,
I changed. Sorry. This one?
yeah. So this is incident. So I think
Uh-huh.
I think that figure has to go to A, B, C, D, E. So figure 1E, we can make it figure 1 E.
This one?
No. The
No.
supplemental.
Oh, that one. Okay,
This
got
can be
it.
figure 1, A, B, C,
Uh-huh.
and E. Alphabet E.
Yeah. Okay.
Figure 1E. And then what I also want is make a figure F.
All right.
And the figure F could be the same non-cancer graph, but
Uh-huh.
have lung cancer with 20 pooled cases.
Okay. With
Yeah. And then
cases.
put p-value there as well.
Oh, okay.
That way we can kind of visualize that yes,
Mhm.
the pooled case did do better, maybe because of publication bias, maybe not, we don't know, but you know, and then just describe that, and then in the discussion talk about the publication bias and everything. I mean, we're just presenting the data. We're not, and then our stance is like, you know, even with lung cancer, their performance is still pretty good, given what they've gone through. But you know, you could be the devil's advocate saying, you know, like, no, like it's clearly worse, and that's it, you know. And then
Yes.
you can say organs should go to non-cancer patients. Yeah, but we're just presenting the data, and
All right.
so I think it's fine. I think we can do that.
Uh-huh. The orders, C was pulled and D was so can I make this one as F? Because pulled and and pulled
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you. I think I can complete this one within this week. And they gave us only 3 weeks, so I have to make it as soon as I can.
But other than this, they are okay, right?
Yeah, there was only several questions like a minor revision, and so I can't defend, but this was tricky, so I wanted to ask you.
Okay. Good. We're almost there, I think.
Yes, a third one. Yeah, I'm very happy.
Good. And no news from the Albert Curie paper?
Yes, I think Eugene is here. No, not here. I asked Eugene, and she said it is still in editor. So she sent email, but we didn't get from the editor. And she asked, what if just withdraw this paper? So I said, no way. We have to wait because they gave us chance and it is almost there. So I said no.
Yeah,
Do
we
you
added
agree?
mini review because they wanted mini review, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
We can wait.
okay.
And
anything else?
that hyperprogression is still under review.
Hmm.
And other things all the same status as last week.
Okay. Okay, and then any update on radiomics?
Not yet, but I think we can ask to Yuri because I sent several emails. If he gives us some answers, and then I can see this lab meeting video clip later on.
Yeah.
Or Peter can ask.
Yeah,
You know,
Peter,
the-
you have you're CC'd on Dr. Jian's questions and all that. So when Dr. Yuri joins, we can ask that questions, okay?
Okay.
And then Dr. Jian can watch our video later. Yeah. But the bottom line is the data looks better, but it's the question is how do we present the data, right? How do we
Yes.
interpret the data and all that?
Professor Yuri said that the PowerPoint that I made, they were all right, but we have to decide which graphs can be included for our manuscript. And he liked the radar graph.
Can you
but-
show, I wanna, make sure I understand all your questions.
Okay.
So maybe let's just go through them briefly so that we have a better discussion when he joins.
All right. Give me 1 second.
While Dr. Jian's pulling those up, I actually have to go around 10. I'm actually skipping class right now to be here. And so I can't miss 2 classes. So
Okay.
I'm
You
sorry.
can't. Of course you can't. Yes. So this is a radiometric result that I showed. So for mixed definition A, sensitivity was 55 and specificity was 87. And for definition B, it was 52 as a sensitivity and 71% as a specificity. And the durable response, you asked me to do the comparison between with harmonization, without harmonization.
Right.
So that was my question to Professor Yuri, my ask Professor Yuri. So we can get some answers or he can do something more.
Okay.
And yeah,
No,
this
no,
was the,
yeah.
There was this one.
Yeah, so this is with harmonization, right? This number?
Yes, with the harmonization, but we don't have without harmonization data.
Oh, okay.
And this was a bar graph. And this is based on RECIST. For PD group, sensitivity was a 52 and specificity was a 63. And PR group, sensitivity was only 20% and specificity was 86%. And for SD group, sensitivity was a 50% and specificity was 63%. So when you combine, this was the graph, sensitivity, specificity, and PPV and PV and other things. And Professor Yuri liked this graph. It was more visualized. Well, the left one is a PD group, and the middle one is a PR group, and right one is a ST group. And based on the IR RECIST, it was a similar. For PD group, sensitivity was 46 and specificity was 72. And PR group was sensitivity was only 32. It was 20 based on the RECIST, but now it's at 32, but still low. And ST group was similar as the RECIST, 50 and 61. And this is another graph. Well, the ChatGPT made a lot of graphs.
Oh, this is through ChatGPT?
Yeah,
Wow.
that one, Notable application
Oh, Notable.
that I
Yeah.
showed you. Yeah. And this was a heat map.
Did Dr. Yuri comment on heat map?
No, he said the PowerPoint page 15, I liked it, he said. So it was a radar graph,
Okay.
and this is another radar graph. So PD, PRSD. And when you look at this ROC curve, mixed definition A, mixed definition B, and durable response. And I will make it as a footnote at least 24 weeks. Not in the figure. So here, this was not able. I wrote just the values, and I asked make a visualize the graphs, and then it made coding and bar chart and heat map and line plot and box plot and radar chart. So you can choose, or you can make more, then it will give you 5 more, 10 more graphs. So you can just choose.
Wow, this is really good.
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Mm.
So anyway, ROC is quite good, I think. It's more than, for mixed A, it is more than 70.
Mm-hmm. Good sensitivity.
No, yeah, sensitivity, and even ROC is 0.7 in mixed A, the first one here.
Yeah, but specificity is really bad.
Yeah, that's right. But durable response is reasonable, I think, acceptable. I mean,
Yeah. That's really interesting. But this is all with the harmonization, right? Okay.
that's right.
I didn't.
So we need without harmonization data, and we needed research with the pneumonitis. He didn't do yet.
Okay.
So if we get those results, then we can make a poster and AACR abstracts.
Yeah. So can you send this graph to maybe, let's say, Liam?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'll
Liam,
send
you can present this PowerPoint. And then Xion, can you send show me your questions? Remember you had the
Okay.
3D graph. Send those questions to Liam as well. I think Liam, you're CC there, but I just want you to present that to Dr. Yuri.
Okay.
But show it to us, your through your screen, Dr. Xion.
3D?
Yeah, you made the 3D graph. Remember you had you sent Dr. Yuri questions, number 1, number 2, the email?
Oh, yeah, that one?
Yeah.
You mean this email?
Um Didn't you have a graph with
Kind
some?
of graph.
No, you had X, Y, Z axis graph. I think you said,
Oh, no, I didn't have.
oh, maybe that was something else.
I think it was in your August 26th email, maybe.
August 26th.
Yes.
That was right there. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah. That was came from another paper.
Oh, this is another paper?
Yeah, another paper. Professor Yuri asked me, what kind of a figure do you want to?
Mm-hmm.
So I just copy and paste it from the other papers to explain the harmonization method.
Hmm. So explain this
this
graph.
is not ours.
So tell me why you brought this graph.
Oh, because I want to make study flow
Mm-hmm.
in paper. Okay, I will show you that figures. So here, I'm making this study flow, but here you can see the harmonization model
Right.
is empty. So I needed some figures.
I see.
So I asked him and I sent him the other figures from the other paper.
I see. I see. And people might not. I think maybe if it fits here, it's okay. But if he needs a more complicated figure to explain, then you can do a figure 1A, B.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
to explain
I
what
will make it as a main figure. Yeah.
Yeah, because
We
it's
can emphasize the harmonization because it's a very novel
right,
method.
right. Okay, now I get it. But that 3D graph, that wasn't the one you wanted to emphasize? Did you want it that type of graph?
Well, I'm not sure Professor Yuri can make that one because that was a paper just regarding harmonization technique.
Oh.
So
What explain to me what XYZ was.
Okay. Actually, I don't know. X was the first principal component and second principal component and third principal component.
Oh,
And there
now
was
I
so many
understand.
classes.
So it's
Yeah.
called the principal component analysis. It's like
Mhm.
it's like a heat map, but it's 3D heat map.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and then that component
Mhm.
is only sort of detected by the algorithm.
Oh, got it.
And just think of it as like group, let's say group A, B, C, D, and kind of shows how close they are related.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, it's up to Dr. Yuri if he wants to
Yes.
generate anything like that or
Mhm.
not. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, now I get it. Now I didn't understand why you put this figure there, so.
Yeah.
Okay, and my last question is, what's our current plan for validation?
What you mean validation?
Like a training and validation for the model?
Well, we have to ask him whether he did a machine learning or not, because if the cases are not much enough, we can't do the machine learning. And the number of cases were only 127. We made all intrathoracic lesions, but for mixed A mixed response and durable response, those are just coming from the 127 patients that intrathoracic lesions each.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You bring up a good point. So when our radiomics feature only comes from the chest,
yes.
and then our RECIST outcome is including, let's say, liver lesion, some other places, correct?
No,
Oh, so it's
I
just
made
all
an, yeah, only chest.
So
yeah.
this paper is just using intrathoracic response?
Exactly.
Okay. So I think that has to be clear in the title and then
Mhm.
abstract, and it has to be really
course.
clear.
Yeah, okay, I will.
But then I think I said it last time, but the reviewers I don't are going to be curious to know,
Mhm.
what's the difference between intrathoracic response and overall response. By
Oh, yeah.
so
Okay.
I think you have to show both.
Mhm. All right.
And our hypothesis is maybe because we are only looking at chest radiomics.
Mhm.
So intrathoracic may be more accurate, but we might be wrong, might be similar. But I think that's just to prove that hypothesis that, if they're very different, then we are arguing that, the heterogeneity is really a big factor, and the more lesions you have, it becomes difficult to predict.
Mhm.
So we can hypothesize even, the less number of lesions you have,
Mhm.
your predictability goes up, something like that.
Okay.
So intrathoracic response is better predicted than the overall response, or something like that could be one aspect of our analysis. So for that, you can give Dr. Yuri in intrathoracic RECIST, but the overall RECIST, and see if the prediction is different. So that's another important factor that we're going to ask him.
Okay.
So 127 patient. I'm sure the reviewer is gonna, even whether you do machine learning or not,
Mhm.
it's a still model.
Mhm.
Any model, whether it's linear, logistic regression model, the reviewers are going to ask for validation. So Dr. Yuri has to do in a split 127 into, validation, training and validation cohort. I think it just has to be done with 127. And then that's our question. Like it's a very difficult task. So I'm gonna ask Liam, for more radiomics coming up, how many patients are we adding?
Approximately 80.
80. Okay. Okay, that will give us 207 patients.
Yeah, so the final number we're working with right now is 205.
Okay. But we'll do that later, but just for this paper, we will. So what's unique about this paper? Number one, harmonization. Number two, mixed response prediction. Number three, intrathoracic versus overall response. Those are the
Mhm.
things that were never done before. So I feel
No,
like
never.
we have so many unique things that no one
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
It's hard to make readers understand that these three things are really unique and novel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I'll do my best.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's one paper. It's like, it's hard to make it into a separate paper. We just have to, yeah. Yeah, I think it's hard to split it, although they're different. And even we also
agree.
have toxicity number 4.
Yeah, I
Uh,
wish we can make another paper with the toxicity
yeah, I think
if
so
the
too.
results are good.
If the results good, yeah, I agree. Because we're just having too many points in one
Yes.
paper. Okay, so we'll ask all of that to Dr. Yuri and move forward. Good. Anything else, Jian?
No, everything is good.
Okay, and then you met with Seong.
Yes, we had a really good time. We had
Was
lunch
she?
together.
Did you motivate her?
Uh, she was already fully energized.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. She had more than my energy.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, I lost.
Okay,
And
good.
I explained what is the radio mix, but she had the experience regarding radio mix, not just not exactly radio mix, but she did some study in prediction of intracranial hemorrhage,
Oh,
and she didn't do the segmentation by herself, but she just handled the data who made after segmenting.
okay.
So yeah, she knew about the radio mix and AI algorithm, and she was interested in the study. So I think this is a really good project for her. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, glad you could meet in Daegu.
Yeah. I encouraged my students to go to Chicago. Sorry, Dr. Chen. This is a really good chance. You have to go. Well, yeah.
Maybe there will be
Sorry.
more people coming from Daegu now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
Good, good, good,
everything.
good. I think she'll be coming pretty soon, so
Mm-hmm.
okay. Good. Okay, Dr. Jian, I know you have to
Okay.
leave.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you
Yeah.
later.
Thank you. Bye. I sent email, Liam. Please check it. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
So Peter, I know you have class, so you can give us any update. And I'll make sure to talk to Dr. Yuri.
Yeah, Dr. Chion pretty much said everything. Everything is in the email stream. And other than that, the SOP for segmentation should be out by the end of the week on my part.
Good. So people can look at it and faultlessly do the segmentation now on, right? And then Taeyong from Daegu can start that too. And I think with the image trial, the whole idea is wherever you are in the world, you could go in and do it, So okay. And with image trial, where are we, Peter? They got everything and right?
Oh yeah, the image trail got all of our files that we have right now. And we should be able to upload the new patients as well once we get the third request.
So are you able to do it? Hey, did you use it?
I haven't used it in Texas, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, use it and see, how good it is. And same thing, people here in Chicago use it. The whole purpose is we make ourselves familiar with it and become very efficient and let Dr. Yuri know, because he can also use it in his department. And he'll be a lot faster, because that's part of his job, making RECIST for all clinical trial patients. He's our only guy. I'm sure he's getting extra paid for his efforts. But making him more efficient and productive is important. So Ellen?
About the image trial stuff, I also got an email yesterday saying that I'm not sure if this was said in the last lab meeting, but the email said that they got all the files and they're uploading it, but I think the most recent one, there was some problems with the imaging. So that they're currently trying to fix that. And once that's fixed, they said that from then you can start using the images. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
Ellen and Liam, just follow up with them and see if there's anything we need to do on our end. Reload or whatever is, is a problem.
Mhm.
All right, very good. All right, Peter, I know you have class, so you can stay till 10. You can go now too.
Thank
All
you.
right, but good to see you. All right, well, let's go back to Haesung.
For 1 second. Yeah, so I'll get the statistician connected, and then I made small change to the table of contents. I looked at like 2 previous protocols, and for those ones, the correlatives came in chapter 9. But for me, it made sense to put this after statistical considerations because this has its own stats plan. Does
Right.
that matter? Is that okay to
It
switch?
doesn't matter. This is okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this has to be.
So
But
for those of
anyways,
you who's not familiar with clinical trial, every clinical trial, you need to write a protocol. It's like a Bible. It's like, this is the ultimate reference. All the answer has to be written in the protocol. It's like a cookbook, recipe book. This is, if you have questions, just go to the protocol and you abide by it. If you don't abide by it, you're gonna be dinged. You're gonna get consequence. And the institution will get punishment. Like, whether it's financially, you're gonna lose NCI designation as a comprehensive cancer center. You're not gonna be paid. There's the consequence. So the study coordinators will do whatever they can to enforce the rule, but the rules are set by the protocol writer, and which is going to be us. If we write, you cannot enroll people with brain metastasis, and then if you enroll someone with brain metastasis, then you cannot use that person to write up a paper. They're useless. It's waste of money, resource, everything. So that's why it's so important to write a good protocol from the beginning. And if we find the fault, I mean, we always find fault later on and we revise it later. Or it may not be a fault, but we have a change of mind, like, oh, let's actually do this. So it's important to write a near perfect protocol from the beginning, that no, it's too much time and energy to fix it. And, and then if you fix anything, then you have to make a letter to patients, like, oh, we made this protocol change, and, make sure patients are aware of this language change and all that. And it's just a lot of work, the back end. So, Haesung is, putting a lot of effort in writing this protocol. So I just want to give you guys background that the clinical research is super, super important. And the protocol writing is sort of like the cornerstone. Okay.
I actually have, maybe I think it's better to actually print this out and show it to you because there's some details that I want to show you, and I think it's gonna be hard this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just do that. And then besides that, we're having the cemiplimab, fianlimab, high Regeneron trial meeting on, oh, I wrote this down, on September 6th. We're still waiting for that. And then And then we're gonna meet with Dr. Barat tomorrow. Do you think you'll be able to meet with us? We're gonna discuss the pan organ data, graft rejection, and post-transplant malignancy association. We're gonna discuss that.
So
The
is that,
positive
that-
association that we found, and yeah,
is that a Zoom meeting?
yes,
Okay.
it's tomorrow at 2:30.
Okay. Am I free that time?
It's already in your calendar and you'll be back by then. So
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited for that. But I also have to submit the KAMA, the Korean American Medical Association poster, and I think for this one, I'll just keep the previous data and just kind of create a poster out of that. Would you be okay with that?
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, yeah.
So
Uh,
for those of you, I don't know, do you have to be a medical student or and above to get there, right? Comma?
Yes.
Okay. So medical students, I think, but Haesung, you know, just being a a postdoc in a lab, what did they say? You could register as a resident?
They waived my fees and everything because I'm going as a panelist this time. So I actually don't know how it would work for others.
Oh, they invited you to be a panelist?
Yeah, apparently I have to share my experience as a postdoc. So
That's really
thankfully, I waived
good.
my fees.
That's
Cool,
great.
yeah. But yeah, really cool.
Well, yeah. So, yeah. Just for our lab members, maybe, you can kind of let them know of this opportunity. Maybe you can share in our lab meeting. For those
Sure.
who, yeah, you know what it is, and I'll be speaking about use of AI in oncology. Yeah, and there's a lot of networking there. It's all Korean American medical doctors and medical students, researchers, and it's a really big organization, and you can really network and meet with great mentors there. It's going to be in Chicago. Is it when is it? September?
It's September 22nd to 24th. And here I'm looking at it again, and it doesn't specify like medical students. So I think undergrads
Yeah.
can go
So
as
Will,
well.
if you want to go, you can go. Then it doesn't specify. You should go. I mean, it and whoever's in the lab at that time can come. There's a nice gala. It's really nice to just be part of the community. And the mentors that I respect have been like in the leadership of Kama. And this is actually my first time going to, because it's in Chicago.
Oh,
I haven't been to
uh,
Kama before. And this is the first time they invited me as a speaker, because probably I'm a faculty here at Chicago. They wanna but you'll be able to meet with my own mentors, like David Cheng in University of Chicago. He's a chairman of the plastic surgery department in University of Chicago, and he was my mentor in Houston too, at MD Anderson. So you'll meet nice mentors there. So keep in mind, I think for students, the registration fee is pretty low, right, Haesung?
yeah, it's not expensive at all compared to other ones.
Yeah,
that we
other
can see.
meetings are like several hundred
Yeah.
dollars, but this one is probably less than $100.
Yeah, for students, it's 35. So it's like having a nice meal. Like instead of buying a nice meal for your girlfriend, you should come. Buy her one less good meal.
All right, so yeah, so since you mentioned Kama, I just want to bring that up to people's attention. Okay, next, Haesung.
Okay. COVID club, yeah, I'm still working on that. And then warehouse. Dr. Alexiev hasn't been responding, so maybe I'll send another reminder email. For Picture Health, I mean, for like getting the slide. And then the Keras one, I'm still working on it. The protocol took some time, so I'll work on that today. So could you remind me, Keras is like a company that does whole exome sequencing, right? It's like XT kind of thing, Tempus XT.
What was the question?
Keras whole exome sequencing, is that the I haven't done much research on it. Keras Life Sciences whole exome sequencing, but basically the same thing as TAP, blood, tissue, ITH, pathomics, genomics correlation, right?
Pathomics.
I just need help like getting reminded of what this was about. I did have I did write notes down, but just could you maybe remind me?
Yeah,
Keras whole exome
Liam,
sequence.
yeah, Liam, can you tell me what this was?
The Keras one?
Yes.
Oh, so Keras, we were trying to see if we can get access to their research biobank so we can get access to their H&E slides. And they had this research partnership alliance that Northwestern was part of. And they were asking for like an LOI basically.
So the company that does genomics and pathomics?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think writing LOI to Keras, because they do the whole exome sequencing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And pathomics, I guess you're saying.
because they have H&E slide.
Mm. And this is also Pan Institution?
Right. So I think the once we write up the LOI, then they'll get back to us. But yeah, I think the LOI should be very similar to the Tempest one you wrote already.
Okay.
And it's just combining the H&E portion. And if they can support, right, they cannot, we just do the genomic clonality.
Mm-hmm. ITH. Okay. And then with the ITH for low TMB project with stats, it's been submitted correctly to JCOPO. We had some issues with submission, so we have to do that again, and it's under review.
Okay.
For like anything regarding the Guardant Omni panel, we're still waiting for the DUA, so the CHIP project has been on hold. And anything that has to do with the Guardant, like blood ITH stuff, is still on hold. So yeah, that's all my update for now. I will print out the BAC cohort and the protocol, and we can, if you have time today, maybe we can go over that. Maybe
Yep.
before you leave.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Let's take 5-minute break. Okay. I'll come back. Okay, I am back. Oh, Dr. Yuri's here.
Good morning. I'm a little
Morning.
early.
Thank you for coming. We just want to go over the, the result with you. Yeah, so we saw your oh yeah, these are our lab members. Some of them are here in Chicago, some of them are not. Peter had to oh, Peter is still here. Peter's from Austin right now. And Liam and yeah. So basically oh, maybe you can talk to us a little bit about what the result of the current the one the new analysis you've made, and kind of explain the meaning and the plan, and then we can ask you some questions on that. Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I already forgot what I did. But
And
let-
Liam,
let me see.
you have a PowerPoint slide that Jian made, so you can
Oh yeah, that will be helpful. It
yeah
will have
can you-
something on the screen.
yeah. Liam, can you share the PowerPoint?
Yes, give me one moment. Or Peter, did you want to go over it if you had time, or?
Yeah, because you have 7 minutes.
The PowerPoint slide, I have to.
Yeah.
Okay, while Peter is opening files, I can just quickly review of our last activities.
Yeah.
It took quite some time to clean up the database, make sure that everything is perfect. We redid segmentations because some lesions were not segmented properly, or something like was included or excluded. And then we also added like samples for radiomics analysis. We added samples of normal lung, parenchyma, and spleen, just to harmonize radiomics data, because we had a very heterogeneous data set in terms of imaging modalities. It took us almost like a whole summer and number of attempts, but we did almost everything we wanted to do, and we got radiomics features. We computed all these radiomic features. We did harmonization step. Just a quick reminder what that means. Radiomic features, by definition, are very sensitive to image quality, and different scanners produce images of different quality as a result, because they use different hardware, different software, pre-processing algorithms, etc., etc. So what we did, we assumed that normal lung parenchyma should be about the same, as well as like a spleen texture of the spleen. So we used them as two reference tissues for the whole data set. We added a large number of cases from another data set that I'm using for radiomics data harmonization for other studies. My student is working on this data set, and Peter did a great job segmenting hundreds, maybe thousands of lesions, not lesions, ROIs, because it's a healthy tissue. And then we did the analysis of like texture for all, like for normal lung parenchyma and for spleen, for different scanners. We computed the bias associated with the scanners And then we just subtracted this bias from lung cancer data set. That helps to remove scanner associated bias, but keep like tumor texture that is associated with a like cancer, with a tumor, like peritumoral space or something else. So that was quite a big step. And once we did this, we got a much better outcome. And we already have few papers that show that this step, like data harmonization, improves assessment or classification by quite a significant number. Like in some studies that we did, the change was varying from 5 to 15, 20 percentiles. And here we also see like minor improvement, but it's still tangible. So once we did all this, we used clinical data. And as I remember, we had a response based on RECIST, immune-related RECIST. Then we also combined some of these responses with as like durable response. We introduced few definitions for mixed response. And I believe that's all. Maybe we did something else, but I used some of these clinical features to see if radiomics using pre-treatment imaging can identify risks associated with some of these responses. So if we have slides, we can review them, or I can just, if I can share, I can show some of these images. Oh, perfect. Right.
Here are the results. So definition A, definition B. And for the durable response for at least 24 weeks, Dr. Cheon was asking if we can run the algorithm for like with harmonization and without harmonization.
Yeah, I'll do this.
But you think the harmonization improved sensitivity, or I don't know?
I mean, we did this analysis without harmonization, and the outcome wasn't good enough.
Right.
Like if we go to ROC curves, for example, we should have them somewhere.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, and they look much better.
Even
like if sensitivity specificity is low, but that's perfectly fine because we use pre-treatment imaging data. So it's very good.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, like we have to keep in mind that everything is done for a small data set from one like institution. So there are a number of limitations, but that's still a reasonable outcome, I would say. I'll repeat these measurements with non-harmonized data, and we will see the change.
Yeah, I just think showing the benefit of doing harmonization would be one, important point of the paper. So
right.
Yeah. I think also we were talking the validation. Because we could 127 patient, we can write a nice paper, but then the reviewer always asks us, what's the training set? What's the validation set? So what is the best plan to do that? With current, because I don't want to wait till more patient? I just want to have like a first paper with 127 patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like for this analysis, of course I divided the whole data set between training and validation, and the ratio was, I believe, like 70 percentile and 30 percentile, like
Okay.
70 to train, 30 to validate.
Okay.
I can double check, but I think that was the numbers. And I also used bootstrapping. So because since we have small data set, we can always divide it between training and validation data sets in a way to get really good numbers.
Right.
But bootstrapping is just, it adds this randomization.
Right.
We do this thousands of times randomly. We compute distribution of these sensitivities, the specificities, and by then like analyzing these distributions, we get average values and range, like standard deviation or confidence interval.
I see. So these are already average numbers after bootstrap.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, everything is already averaged.
I see. Okay. That's super. That's really good to know. Oh yeah, and then I think oh yeah, so the other thing is I think that the response the RECIST Dr. Jian gave you is the intrathoracic response, because we're only looking at thoracic radiomics. We're not looking at liver mets. We're just intrathoracic radiomic predicts intrathoracic response. So that's yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't use lymph nodes here because not all patients have lymph nodes.
Right, right.
It was only tumor and peritumoral space.
Okay. So
Yeah.
only that, and not even intrathoracic, so it's more
Yes.
intraparenchymal,
Oh, lung.
parenchymal, yeah, or lung lesion,
Lung
radio.
lesions. So it's
but
limited to lung space. Yeah.
right, right. But in the RECIST, we measured lymph nodes in the RECIST, right? So
yeah,
for the response, it's intrathoracic. So we want to have two endpoints, like intrathoracic response prediction, but then some people will have liver mets and all that. So we also have the result of the whole body RECIST. So so the question is, can you predict intrathoracic response better than the whole body response? I think it's probably better, but that's our hypothesis. So maybe showing that how well radiomics predicts intrathoracic versus the whole body, and the difference may be the heterogeneity. And kind of show that concept would be really nice. So I think Dr. Jian will give you, intrathoracic RECIST as well as the whole body RECIST number, so that you can work with.
That's very popular subject. If like radiomics of a primary tumor can predict metastasis, and
what is the current thought in the field? Is that predictable, or what do you think?
There was like a recent, like about a year or 2 years ago, a paper that was very large, like thousands of cases. I believe it was published by a team from Harvard. They're working in this field for very long time. They collected a very large data set, and they're doing really great work. And they just show that like strong correlations.
Wow.
So like strong correlations, I mean statistically significant correlations, even if sensitivity is like small but statistically significant, it still means that radiomic features can add an additional value to clinical models. A number of recent studies, including like some of our studies, show that combination of, for example, radiomics and deep learning models works better than just radiomics or deep learning. Actually, radiomics somehow improves a lot of like deep learning models. It improves accuracy, etc., etc. So there is very interesting direction when we use radiomics to like somehow, how to say it, not bias, but supplement deep learning models. So this is like for quite some time, like maybe during last few years, there was a feeling that deep learning is taking over radiomics. But now it feels like there's some complementary, like synergistic interactions.
I see.
And radiomics, because it's handmade imaging features, they help to make analysis more interpretable. You can see like how handmade features that we understand correlate with this black box. So there's a lot of interesting ideas, and I think that might be important direction to keep working on that.
Got it. So for this patient's analysis, what what did you use? Did you use just radiomics or combined?
Yes, it was just the radiomics. Right now we are like we have few deadlines for 3 proposals, and like next one is in 3 weeks. And then like every 1 or 2 weeks we just have to. So I'm pretty busy with all these projects, but once we are done, I was thinking that I will try to add, like, in addition to radiomics, we can add some deep learning classification models. So that will be interesting to see how it will go.
That's really, yeah, really important. I think, yeah. So when you have time, I think adding that piece would be really good. Thank you for letting us know the importance of combination. So the last question is, oh yeah. So I'm just so for this paper we're gonna write, I think radiomics, and then I hope you can add the deep learning, and then we're gonna do intrathoracic versus the whole body RECIST, and then we're gonna do before and after harmonization, how it improves the model. So these are kind of the unique things. And then we have the toxicity outcome. I know you haven't had time to get there yet, but the toxicity is also becoming really hot in the field because so many people are now using immunotherapy. So I think using radiomics as well as the deep learning to predict lung toxicity, and then we have grade the lung, even like we graded it. So does it predict only the severe? So grade 3 is symptomatic, yeah, right, and the grade 1 is asymptomatic. We see that often, but does the grade play a role? The higher grade, is that better predicted, or we can ask more in-depth questions, and then there's a time to toxicity too, as as time to progression. So I know it's just a response or not response, but I think we could kind of look more in depth analysis with the toxicity. And I don't know if the toxicity might have terrible AUC, then we might not make it a separate paper. If toxicity looks like it has really good AUC, then it could itself become a really, because it's one paper will have too many things if you put that in one paper. So I think if it's the data, the results is not impressive, we'll make it in a one paper. If it's impressive, then we'll make it into a separate paper. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be very interesting to see how it will go and how toxicity correlates with progression.
Have you done any toxicity correlation before? So this would be the first. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, I am excited about that. So I know you're super busy, but maybe after this month, the 3 weeks time is over, the things that I just mentioned, we could you know do this together. And you know, Dr. Jian and Peter, even though they're not in Chicago, they're still super, you know, motivated. And yeah, and before you joined, Dr. Jian was in this call. We talked about a lot, so she's still working really hard over there. So I hope we can all continue to collaborate and finish. And then we have 80 more patients that will be added and segmented again. And yeah, and then the last thing before you go, we have an image trial. That's a new clinical trial program, online program. And it's a company that my close friend from my medical school, he founded the company. He's a radiologist in South Korea. He trained at Dana-Farber on radiomics, actually.
It's a good place to study radiomics.
Yeah.
They're very strong.
Yeah, very strong. But he works with a lot of pharmaceutical company, and he does a lot of RECIST, the radiologist, and then
Right.
he made this program so that every scan can be uploaded, and if you just measure the target lesions, then you can have the spider plot, swimmer's plot, the RECIST, and then iRECIST, everything like automatic. Like it will just pop up as you don't have to make any Excel spreadsheet. So it's all automated in one online program.
That's nice.
Yeah, so these 127 patients, they're all uploaded now in the system, and we are planning to upload the 80 more patients in here so that you or your team members also will have access to the online program. And I want you to, once we know how to use it well, Monica or Liam or Peter, they can sit down with you and do this together so that it will make your work more efficient. I know you do a lot of RECIST for our clinical trial patient, but I think just because this is a pay-for-fee service, but they my friend allowed us to use the beta version for to familiarize ourselves. So I just want you to take advantage of this opportunity as a team. So
Okay.
Yeah. So once it's ready, we'll let you know how to get access to it.
Sounds good.
All right, super. Any questions or any last thing before?
And I think it will be also important to add first follow-up imaging into consideration, because for immunotherapy is especially important to predict pseudo progression, right?
Right.
Right now, like the concept of iRECIST, that first sign of progression we consider as equivocal progression and wait for another cycle to confirm it. I don't think it is fair for patients, because pseudo progression is very rare case, less than 10 percentile. And in 90 percentile cases, it is a true progression. So we just let patient to progress, and identification of pseudo progression is like very important topic.
Right.
I think using first follow-up, we might be able to improve this assessment.
Yeah.
Or at least learn something from this. So it will be interesting and important, I believe, to do segmentation and radiomics analysis of first follow-up scans.
Yeah.
And like this paper that we submitted to radiology, but it was rejected, but that's okay. We can do the same or similar analysis, because we show that just with radiomics we can predict a response very well.
Yes.
And it can be sensitive to different treatments, etc., something that can be important.
Right. So for this, I guess for the future, I think we could segment even the first follow-up CT. We haven't done it yet, right? So
Not yet.
Not
right
yet.
Now we use only pre-treatment scans.
Right. Yeah, so I think I agree with you. That's a great next project. I want to ask you, I know right now we're doing yes or no, like response or no response, toxicity, yes or no. But for using the machine learning, is there a good model for predicting like time to progression, time to death,
There are models that we can use,
Uh-huh.
like that consider timing.
Uh-huh.
Um, in this radiology paper, actually, we used it. We used to predict doubling time
Oh,
based on only pre-treatment imaging. And yeah, it's possible. We can combine classification models with regression models.
yeah, because I think durable response is just yes or no, and we have AUC, but if we can do at least, you know, PFS or OS time to endpoint, whether the pre-treatment radiomics can, and plus machine learning can predict that well, I think that's something we want to add. Yeah.
But that requires at least first follow-up.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
If you want to have a longitudinal dependence, you need at least 2 time points.
2 time points radiomics? You're talking about?
Yeah.
Why? I just want to understand why is that?
I mean, the accuracy of these models is very low if you use the pre-treatment imaging.
I see.
It is possible. I'm not saying it is not possible. It is, but the accuracy is very low.
I see. Okay.
They fail even more than
more
application models.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, we can save that for the first follow-up the delta prediction. However, when you get time, if you can just PFS OS prediction just based on pre-treatment, and let's see what is our outcome, and if that's really not good, then we'll not add it. If it's decent, then we can add it to our paper.
I think PFS might be better than overall survival because we computed like at a fixed time point, right? Like 12 months progression-free survival or like 6 months.
Oh, yes.
So in this case, it will be more like a classification model. You don't need to do regressional analysis, but overall survival, like the range will be very broad, and that might be tricky. Yeah,
I see. Because there's a lot of confounders. So
exactly.
yeah. All right. Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
It's
We'll talk to you
totally
later.
important.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was pretty informative. Yeah, I feel like we always learn a lot from Dr. Yuri. Okay. Haesung, you were done, right?
Yeah, I'm done. I just sent you cohort 13 final drafts. Based on our discussion today, I took out all the unconfirmed things. So that should be ready to go for final review by Dr. Kurzweil.
Okay. Cohort 13 is which one?
That is non-epithelial ovarian cancer.
Okay, non-epithelial is ready to go. Okay.
And then we can look at BAC and the protocol today. After this.
Yeah, after this. Okay, Alan, give me your update.
Sorry, Dr. Che, before we continue, just wanted to check on your schedule for today.
Yeah.
So you have a meeting with Gardent at 12. Is that still happening?
So Shelly just texted me. She wants to meet me at 10:45. So I will be gone in 25 minutes. And then I'm gonna leave for airport before noon. But if I come back sooner, I'll just catch up on more things with you guys. And it should be, on my airport, I should be able to still comment on, things. Yeah, so that's our schedule.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Alan?
in that case, Alan, do you have like specific questions that you want to run over with Dr. Che? The reason why I ask is Jessica has a draft of the variance classification that be best read like when Dr. Che's here and not like actively on the move. But if you need his attention now, like please go ahead.
No. I'll just do like very brief, I guess, update. I got updated on everything that Tegio was doing. A lot of the stuff is really, I need to start working on it. I got contact with Kimizu yesterday, so PIR paper and Veristrat stuff will be in progress. Veristrat, the data should be finished today, and so Kimizu, Dr. Iser said that we can start writing it once that final data is compiled. PIR, she has to find her data still, so she hasn't been any time to get that. The image trial had that recent email that the files were corrupted, so they need to fix that. Once that's done, they'll get back to us. Mixed response, I took that over, but I haven't actually got a chance to look at that stuff yet. And then there was the garden stuff with the chip data, but we're still waiting for the response on that as well. One last thing was that the Veristrat, there was a section of data that we needed to get from the Jackie, but I believe we don't have a response back from that person. So the analysis will start from the data after that point for now. Once we get that though, we'll include that as well as the data from before. Yes, I think that's just about it.
Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, keep going. It's hard to really publish data, so and then there's a lot of data check. Liam, can you follow up with Biodesics? I don't think they sent us the raw data. They said they send it in next 2 days, and I think 2 days have passed. We didn't get it.
Sure.
Just CC everybody. I mean everybody included in Biodesics, Hesong, Alan, Lee, Iser, everyone, and just see when they can give us actual raw data.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Jessica, you want to share your draft?
Yeah, I sent it in the chat, or I can screen share if that's better for you.
No, I can go.
Okay.
Yeah, you will screen share. Okay, do you guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah, so after you gave Sally and I feedback about the discussion points, we just wanted to show you the draft and make sure yeah, we're on track.
Okay, tell me what you changed.
So before we didn't really have a draft, so we just wrote the draft, and I guess the part that we want you to look at is the discussion section. Yeah, results in discussion. Feedback on those parts would be helpful.
Okay. So evaluation of artificial intelligence based in silico tools for variant classification in clinically actionable variants impacting immunotherapy. I don't agree with clinically actionable variants. I would say functional variants impacting immunotherapy. Immunotherapy outcome. Impacting or associate. Impacting is sort of associated with differential immunotherapy outcome. Or you could say immune modulation, but that's too broad. Differential immunotherapy outcome. And there's a lot, immunotherapy can mean differential. Yeah, in cancer.
Okay.
And then you could sort of use this language elsewhere, okay?
Okay.
So clinically actionable means more like FDA approved, but these are not
Oh.
FDA approved.
Mhm.
Let's see here, AI suggested that any information. Allow direct implication on clinical management. It's really vague. Allow direct implications. So may influence clinical decision making in may influence clinical decision making in terms of this choosing the best treatment options, something like that. VUS is VUS. It means it's not functional, and we don't know if it's functional, to be exact. So I wouldn't
Okay.
write VUS here. Analyze the performance of 7 in silico tools for predicting the pathogenicity. Same thing, everything that I, just use this wording, okay?
And then could you check if the discussion points
Hmm.
are correct?
So this one, so you said the variants are fewer.
I think they just had to take some out along the way because there were problems.
So to me, this reads more like method.
Okay.
This is like how
Um,
you got to different numbers.
mhm.
So I think this is method.
Okay.
Like, take out all the likes, such as or including is better. So this table, is that regarding all the genes up there, or how did you get this number?
Oh, I'm not too sure, but I would assume so. I can ask Dr. Yuhi because she did the results part.
Dr. Who?
Dr. Yunhee.
So who are the authors here? There's
Dr. Yunhee, Sally, Grace, and I are working on it currently.
okay. So there's no title or footnote. I
Oh.
mean, so where is the description of the table here?
Oh, we'll add that.
So when you have a table, you have to explain the table in the result. Table number and cite it.
Okay.
So first paragraph of the discussion is more in summary. This is what we found in general. Describe
Okay.
the meaning of the finding and whether this finding has ever been presented before, or this is the first report to present. All of that is going to be your first paragraph. And then you go into the next paragraph. And here's Uvel, CAD, and ChatGPT. Is there a reason why you picked 3 out of the 6 models listed here?
I think it's just we just wrote it based on the discussion points that Dr. Yuni and Sally picked out because those were like the key things that they found from the results.
So discussion is okay. So ChatGPT, these comments are way out of our theme. We're only
Okay.
using ChatGPT to see if they can come up with a better answer. So it's not even part of the algorithm. It's more like text mining from internet. And this should be, so I would combine traditional algorithm. So what's really different here? Revel. So I would line it this way: the Polyfen, CAD, mutation tester, Align GBD are the four unique algorithms. I think none of them are combined model, correct? Jessica, do you know?
I don't remember which ones.
So check with Sally and Uni.
Okay.
In my memory, Polyfen, CAD, mutation tester, Align GD was independent single algorithm model. Now Revel is a combination of different models. And then ChatGPT is called generative AI. It's a totally different thing.
Okay.
So I would group them in that way. A single algorithm.
Mhm.
Then under that, put 4 of them in the table. Combined algorithm, put Revel, and then a generative AI, put ChatGPT there. So you have 3 different categories, and under that you have 4, 1, 1 in that order in the table, and that's how you are going to do your discussion here. So single algorithm, talk about Revel's CAD, but also talk about the other 2. You know, it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be just, you know, a couple of sentences.
Okay.
Because you're, you know, it feels like you're not doing a fair job.
Mhm.
And then talk about the combined model as which is Revel, and how combination of different algorithms may at times better perform than single.
Okay.
And then in ChatGPT, it's a generative AI model that people use, and this would be like the first paper. I think one of the thing is, have you seen any paper using ChatGPT or GPT-4 to predict functionality of specific variants? Do your search. I don't know, it may be published yesterday. Do your own search, and if you can't find it, write it out. Like, you know, this is the first paper to use ChatGPT or generative AI in that sense to predict pathogenicity of cancer-related gene variants. Not let alone immunotherapy implications. So you know, I don't know. I don't have the answer unless we do the search at real time. So understanding what is novel, what is the first ever done in the whole world, and why is this paper important? These are the best discussion point we need to address. Okay, limitations come next. So the limitations are going to be very similar with the paper that Eugene Kim wrote. Yeah, so just reference, so a lot of paraphrasing. They're gonna be very similar. And do not make a paragraph with one sentence. So usually you don't just write out limitations, it's usually strength and limitation. What is our strength? You know,
strength.
yeah, so write out the strength, limitation in the equal context. So what is the strength of this article that we were able to find the immunotherapy related genes, and then we were able to look at different resources to allocate and then review the evidence to see whether they're functional or not. And then we looked at 6 different models of that are widely used to assess their functionality based on their unique algorithms. We're able to compare those performance in different matrices. And again, we have used ChatGPT for the first time in assessing the functionality. So these are things that we've done, and we think that's our core strength. And the number of variants assessed are not small. So that's another strength. So always in any manuscript writing, write your strength first and then write your limitation. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't think 4 variants is a limitation. I mean, it's just the way it is based on our method. That's what it came out to be. And that's not a limitation. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much it. We haven't written the conclusion yet or anything.
Okay. Okay. So keep going. I feel like this is taking too much time. We had this abstract long time ago. I know it's always challenging to write up a paper, but the more time you put into it, read about the field, what it is, and write anything that's only relevant to the theme.
Okay.
So that's another thing. I mean, you can keep going, right, about AI. What is AI? What is ChatGPT? But that's not the point. Like, can it contribute in predicting functionality? We don't know. It hasn't been. There's not even any paper looking at that. Then we're the first one in medical history to do it, right? So that's what you need to do. Okay. Very good. I will stop share here. So keep working on it and submit once you have the draft reviewed.
Okay.
Yeah, and
thank
you have a
you.
meeting right now with Gardens. It's 10:45.
Okay, so we'll wrap up here, but I'm going to follow up with each one of you today, maybe by phone or something. Okay, I'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.